Hi, this is Web Suspect, and I'm going to do a video on the march, the Armed March on DC with Adam Kokesh. I'm totally against that. I'm not going. I forwarded to Caliber Hitters when the invite came up because I felt like it was provocateur, and Alex Jones is pushing it. I think Alex Jones, if he's supporting it, he should go. You can't just tell other people to do an event like that and not go. But I think it's provocateur, and I was never in the military, but I'm from a multi-generation military family, and I'm from Maryland and DC, and I feel like just wanted to go over some of the issues with Maryland and DC. First of all, DC is not part of the United States. It's part of the criminal enterprise of the District of Columbia, and it was annexed from the United States during the time of Lincoln and the Civil War. And during that period, the U.S. government turned cannons on the civilians in Baltimore and repeatedly attacked civilians and all. And the United States government has a long history of using the Army. It's against the law. It's a violation of posse comitatus, but they have a long history of using the Army against the American people. During the 60s riots, they sent the blacks rioted after the Martin Luther King assassination, and there were several protests against the war in Vietnam, which was also, again, Donald Rumsfeld, who we just came out of with, again, with Bush. Generating war profits for the military-industrial complex with Vietnam, and also the wars in the Middle East and Afghanistan. And several students were shot in various protests across this country by National Guard, armed forces. And so just also a little background history on the Tomb Guard at Arlington Cemetery is all Americans, a lot of Catholics from honored military service family there. There's 23 tomb guards at stand guard over the tomb of the unknown soldier, 24 hours a day. There's in addition to that, there's cavalry there at Arlington Cemetery. This is where Kokesh said he wants to start the march, and they make all the bridles and everything for the horses from scratch, wash the horses every day. And cavalry horses are usually, I think, generally trained also for crowd control, but we'll have to see how that goes. But they have a large military force at Arlington Cemetery. It is Army grounds, and they're in contact with the Army. So I mean, they have to know. Police Chief Laniers, who kind of looks to me like a nut. She's got 4 stars on her shoulder, like she's a 4-star general or something. She said she's gonna meet Kokesh and the marchers on the bridge. You know, I almost have to play both sides when I'm thinking about it. If I was the Army, I'd have APCs there. If I was doing a march, I don't think that Kokesh or the marchers have drilled or practiced at all. I think they don't even come close to a militia force, and so I think that Kokesh needs to spend a little bit more time thinking about what the demands are, and as far as the problems we're having with the criminals in government and everything, I think that DC should be abolished. People should petition to have DC made a state, or for the land to revert back to Maryland and Virginia, because the District of Columbia is not part of the United States. They operate as a criminal enterprise outside of the United States. This was all incorporated during Lincoln's time to make DC a separate criminal enterprise. That's the bottom line. Is it's a business. It's incorporated as a business of the United States of America. And you know, if you're going to protest, I don't think people should march with guns behind their backs if they're loaded. That's totally ridiculous. This guy's Army Corporal, which is not a private, but not a whole lot of time at, he's not an officer, certainly. No formal training in tactics or warfare from Army College or Marine College, and you know, it's just, the whole thing is ridiculous. cop or use some angry words. I'm not going to use angry words and name calling, you know. So I don't think I should apologize for this video. You know, Adam said before he respects other people's dialogue and freedom of speech, but I think it's provocateur. It's going to demand an armed response from the government of some sort, and a whole lot of untrained people with rifles, and if they're behind their backs, they won't be able to use them. And it might as well be unloaded at that point, or in the front and unloaded, or I'd say pointed at the ground, but there's really no support there of any kind for armed protest. I'm sure that the Army will have plenty of support, and the police will have plenty of support, and that's just my 2 cents.